Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Dietzel here, and I'm outside here at the Canadian Lake Home. We're not at the beach today just because the weather's been a little bit iffy with rain. It's been thunderstorming in the morning here, and I've got a lot I'm going to be covering. So I'm going to provide you some backdoor access today. So in doing that, I'm going to move into the office. So I'm going to disappear here for a few seconds, but I just wanted to introduce you to the what's going on here at the Canadian Lake Home live. Often we show pictures. Those of you that have the VIP app, you've got access to our beach time hangouts. And I believe it's the first in the industry. I don't know anybody else that does live hangouts right from a beach. And we do it right here at the Canadian Lake Home. And many of you are coming into our June 22nd one-day business acceleration intensive. And I'm really excited to show you all the inner workings of how to run a company, what we do, how to generate leads, or how to get conversion rates that allow you to close deals 2, 3, 4, 10 times faster than what you're doing right now. And you're going to be able to model some of the systems that I've created. So I wanted to start here today just to set the scene here live at the Canadian Lake Home. And also you want to make sure that when I disappear here and head into the office, I'll be in the office in 30 seconds. You can hear some of the birds and the nature. We've got the forest next to us here, the lake here behind us, and just give you a little sense of some peace and tranquility here before we begin today in your busy schedule. Just set your mind and get ready to focus at an accelerated rate and get ready to execute in ways that you're. All right, I am here with you now in the office here at the Canadian Lake Home, and really excited here today what we're going to be covering. I'm going to be doing some talking here today, quite a bit of talking. So you'll want to take notes. I got a few things that I'm going to show you. Quite often I've got a lot of things that I show you. I'm going to be doing more talking, partially because I've been so busy and vetting people for the one-day intensive, our one-day intensives. And secondly, I've got some minor surgery this week, and I've had pre-op appointments, etc. So I'm excited for what we're going to cover today. And I want to talk to you, first of all, around how to just generate some very highly strategic conversations. And I'm going to talk you through this, okay? I'm going to take you through 5 simple conversations. I don't have notes prepared. Normally I do, and I flash cards or I show screen, etc. And it's not that I don't have tons of material here to show you hours or days. Really, I could spend weeks here on different levels of conversations, but I want to have a real conversation with you today. And we're going to cover like 5 simple ways and highly strategic ways of generating conversations so that you're positioned with high-end value and to close deals, both B2C and B2B. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to show you 3 highly effective ways of organizing your content. And I'm going to provide you backdoor access to one of our private client sites, and I want to show you this. Okay, you're going to love it. And thirdly, we're going to talk about a really profitable way of creating coaching, training, consulting, business royalties, and you're going to love it because I think it's a first in the industry. I can almost guarantee you it is. But sometimes people say that I talk too assuredly, and it's just I know the industry very well, and when I give my advice and you are attending here for free, other than just giving up some of your time, it's really easy to discount advice, or it's really easy not to take advice seriously. And that's why if you really want momentum in your business, you need to get close to the source of momentum, like those that are coming into the one-day intensive or get mentoring, right? Because it's really when you get close to the source of momentum, you can really build the kind of business that you want. You can start executing in ways that you've only hoped and dreamed of. You can focus in ways that bring you the kind of results that will accelerate your business growth. And I just talk to so many great people every single day who use a business model, at the end of the day is just holding them hostage, or they think they're in business, but they maybe have a coaching business, but it's really not a business, and they're trying to do coaching, and coaching is just one profit center. Nobody cares about your coaching program. It took me a long time to really figure this out. Nobody cares about it. What they care about is what's in it for them. They care about results. You should care about ROIT. We've talked a lot about that, right? your clients care about ROI, you should care about ROIT. So return on investment is what your clients are paying you for. That's what my clients pay me for. That's what those that are coming into the Canadian Lake Home Intensive are investing in, to come in, and they're taking time out of their busy schedules. People are canceling speaking engagements or canceling client work to come in. And so you've got to be able to leverage, or you got to be able to take an ROI business, which is what your clients want, right? They want ROI, return on investment. And you got to be able to integrate it from your perspective, which is really an ROIT business, return on invested time. So, and that's one of the areas that I've looked at very deeply over the last 12 years is how can you create a really cool business model that allows high touch and still have a life and provide the kind of results that you want within a high touch environment, in a service-based economy in which we live. So I'm going to cover that today. And then we're, in the concept of royalties, and I'm excited about what we're going to cover here. So first thing here, I've just taken a couple of notes here. I haven't had a chance to transcribe them for you just because of my hectic, busy schedule. We just got back from Toronto. My youngest son, his basketball team just won their provincial championships on the weekend, so yesterday. So we're very proud of that. And we're a family on the move. I've got 2 kids in high school. We're very close, and a lot of things going on, probably like you, right? And so we all want to leverage our time, and we all want to use our time right now here in the most profitable way. So I want to start off by giving you this concept right here. So we're going to break down today's training into 3 sections. And section 1 is really, I want to give you 5 simple ways of building conversations that allow you to position your value, because your value right now is largely hidden. And that's the reality. If you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an expert, you're not selling a tangible item. Like, you're not selling a water bottle, right? Or you're not selling an iPhone, or you're not selling a marker. You're not selling something that's tangible. You're selling something that's intangible. So on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, it's something that I cover very in depth here at our one-day intensive, is all the tools, systems, and processes to be able to help you build the kind of value that you want, that allows you to be hugely valuable in today's market. And that's the struggle that everybody has, is how do you showcase your value in a hyper-competitive marketplace? Whereas I showcased on a few weeks ago, if you go to LinkedIn, go to Amazon, take a look at all the competitors in your industry that's growing. The number of competitors are growing exponentially. How do you stand out in that kind of market, right? So you've got to be very strategic. You've got to be able to focus and execute in very strategic ways today. So I want to talk to you right now about 5 ways of building conversations. So in order to set the scene for this, I want you to write this down. You want to start thinking from an idea toward a thesis. So I want you to start thinking about this. Think from an idea toward a thesis. All right. So many people, in business or whatever they do, they think about an idea. And ideas aren't worth anything, right? There's no intellectual property in ideas. It's the constraints that you put on that idea. It's the framework or the context for the idea. It's the content that's developed within the framework. So I want you to think about your thesis. That is, what are you trying to prove? Okay. So that is going to really, it's helped me hugely in an area where I've specialized in accelerated learning. And I've used this in business for the last 12 years. It's how we've got the results that we have. It's how my clients get the results that they want. Because they get to use my systems and processes around accelerated learning. So I want you to write this down. Think from an idea toward a thesis, okay? Ideas are general thinking, ways of thinking, right, about something. And the generalist makes no money today. It's the specialist. It's the era of the specialist. So you want to think from an idea, something that's really general and nebulous, toward a thesis. What are you proving? Okay, so I want you to put down maybe, just put it as a sticky note on your computer. And put down, with every actionable item that you're working on, what are you proving? Okay, what are you proving? And just by tightening up your thinking, you're going to start tightening up the conversations that you want to have in the marketplace, the way that you want to execute, etc. Okay, so I want to give you 5 ways to develop your thinking that's going to lead to more profitable conversations. That's going to make you more influential, right? Because when you have a lot more influence, things really start happening, right? The media come to you. You get more clients valuing what you do. You have other experts that are struggling, right, in your industry coming to you that want to be mentored or want to be trained in your systems. And that's why you want to have a highly leveraged system that I'm going to talk about in our third area here today. So you want to think from an idea toward a thesis, okay? So the first simple type of question that you could think about, and I highly recommend that you do, it's a question I use with many, many different people. This is research that comes from the FBI, from their behavioral team in Washington. Their behavioral team's research that does all the research for the FBI and how to exert influence over people that they are questioning in the cases that they're trying to solve. And the most influential question that comes out of the research on influence, and you probably want to write this question down because it's that valuable, but you always want to ask somebody, what has been their greatest challenge in whatever it is that you're asking? Maybe it has to do with parenting, has to do with a sport, has to do with an aspect of business. It could be whatever area, but what has been your greatest challenge over the last week in the area of whatever? Okay, so by asking that question, you exert a high level of influence over people that you're speaking with. Okay, because everybody wants to talk about their challenges. Everybody wants to talk about what they really struggle with, right? Because the two prime movers in getting your candidates to like you more and want to do business with you more is when you can resonate with them around their pain and their frustration. So you want to use the power of that question as a way of providing massive influence on others. And by asking that question, it just opens up some very cool conversations that I want you to have, that I've experienced thousands and thousands and thousands of times over. I've done over 15,000 consultations. And there's not too many people that I found. There's not too many people that I found in the market today that have sold multi-millions of dollars of coaching, consulting, and training. And it's not because I'm bright. Just look at me. I don't look that bright, right? And I'm really not that bright. It's just, we've got some very cool, intelligent business systems that do the work for us. So I want to help you accomplish a lot more and use your time a lot more. So you've got more time with your family. You've got more predictable, certain, and secure systems that allow you to rest at night. And most importantly, that allow you to aggressively move into and penetrate hundreds of different marketplaces almost simultaneously. Okay, so we're going to touch on that very shortly. So that's the most powerful question that you can ask. And it's a powerful question to ask in terms of generating a conversation and thinking, and then providing your recommendations off their struggles. Okay, so now you become highly valuable. You've asked them you're a potential candidate or somebody you're just speaking to, maybe at a networking event, maybe over a cup of coffee, somebody just ask them that. It's a very powerful question. Listen to what it is that they say, and then just say, you can ask them after that as a way of furthering the conversation. Clients pay me a lot of money to solve a problem, and I get, the problem that you have, it is a bad one, isn't it? And many of my clients have had the same kind of problem. And if you would like, I can provide a couple of suggestions for you that I would strongly recommend that you apply. And and by the way, my clients pay me a lot of money for this kind of advice, and you can make it a little joke, etc., just to keep it really lighthearted. Okay, so that's the first type of conversation. The second type of conversation is having remember I said, think from an idea toward a thesis. Okay, so when you're asking somebody a specific question like we just did in the first type of conversation, you're building a thesis. That is, that you can solve the problem that your person that you're dialoguing with is presenting. Okay, so you can lead by asking them the right question, by picking the area that you can provide the advice around. And now they're really ready to listen to you because you've just asked them the most influential question that you can ask. To be liked, to be trusted, to be valued, to demonstrate that you have empathy. Those are all key components, right, of generating trust and the likability and knowability. And in today's market that I see today is just highly jaded. You probably see it the same way, right? People are jaded and they're cynical, and they don't want to be sold to. And so you want to, and I get it, right? I don't want to be sold to. You don't want to be sold to either. But we do want to buy, right? I love buying, and I love investing in mentoring and coaching my own. I mean, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my own mentoring and I've spent, and invested back into my company multi-millions of dollars. So I want to do that. And your potential clients want to do the very same thing, but they want to do it on their terms. But you've got to dictate the terms by knowing how to generate conversations, okay? And that's why this is so important. So second type of conversation, then again, thinking again from our speed to market principle, think from an idea toward a thesis, is having a consultative process established that mirrors or mimics the way that your potential candidates want to hear your advice. And I hear it all the time. I ask somebody what it is that they do, and I never once have had anybody show me what they do. And that's really, you want to stop telling people what you do and start showing them, because people are, we're hardwired experientially. We're hardwired to hear things visually and spatially. So we have to be very careful on how we tell people what it is that we do. And so if you have a well thought out consultative process, and part of what I cover at our one-day intensives is our consultative processes, how to work, how it can work for you. I assist you with establishing and developing that. But you always want to, again, rule number one or step number one in a consultative process, if we're thinking from a conversation, is always starting from the big thesis, okay? Not an idea, but a thesis. And then establishing the trends that are going on in your industry or the person that you're talking to, and tying it into the big change that's going on. So you want to tie trends and change in step two in your consultative process. Why? Because you want your potential candidates to feel that they're being left behind, that they're missing out. You want to leverage pain and frustration against them. But more importantly, you want to showcase your leadership, your thought leadership that you have in your market. And by identifying the patterns and the trends and where things are going, you automatically, at a very deep psychological level and a trust level, you showcase to people, your potential candidates, that you are the trusted resource for them, okay? So step two then, in this simple generating a conversation, start with a big idea, or move the big idea, if you will, to the big thesis, right? Think from an idea toward a thesis. What are you trying to prove? So what you're trying to prove is something really big, novel, different. Then in step two in the conversation, talk about what's changed, what's going on. Try to tie it into three areas of change: what's going on sociologically in your industry, economically, and technologically. Okay, and that's really important to be able to articulate and stress what's really going on in your industry. And then the third area is then to develop the problem. Okay, so this is another way of leveraging what the most influential question that you can use with somebody. That is, what's the greatest challenge that you've had in the last 7 days, Mr. Buggins or Ms. Sally? Talk a lot in the area of conversions. All right, something that we specialize in developing high-end programs and services and high net worth conversations. All right, because if you can learn to close some high-end deals, your net worth goes up incredibly, your value goes up. The cash flow goes up, right? So you can invest back and grow your company, and your confidence level increases. There's no better way of increasing business momentum than getting a few results under your belt that really just blow your mind away about what's really possible for you. So you're playing big. So the third step then in the consultative process is to speak to the problem, okay? So most people, they start with marketing 101. They talk about the features, the benefits, maybe some problems. They usually mix that in with their company and themselves, and they run a coaching company and all this kind of stuff. And that's not how your potential candidates or people that you want to dialogue with at any level want to communicate. They want to be around something that's big, that's novel. They want to know what's going on, what's changing, because they don't want to be left behind. And then they really want to understand their problem deeper. Okay? So the second simple conversation you can generate is starting a conversation that's built into a consultation. But a great consultation, it happens naturally, happens in the way that your candidates want to learn, okay? And there's 7 other steps to this, and we're not going to go through that today, but those 3 steps will help you become a lot more valuable. And by starting conversations and having conversations at that level, You can open up some very powerful B2C conversations, right? Business to client. But what I found even greater is you can start opening up B2B conversations, business to business, that allow you even more influence, okay? The third area, then the third type of conversation is in the way that people want to learn, all right? And when you teach or you share your advice, you want to hit the 4 types of learners. And the first type of learner, the least patient learner, is the why learner. So you've got to tell somebody why this is so important, okay? And if you follow our consultative process, the big novel thesis, and then moving right into the change or trends, that fits the why learner. And then next is the what learner. So you want to talk, first of all, to the why learner, then to the what learner. And the what learner is somebody that wants to know, well, what is this? What is it that you do? But you understand that instead of telling them what you do, you're going to showcase it by building a better problem, okay? Which is step 3 of the consultative process that I just mentioned, okay? Next is the next least patient, or the next most patient learner. So we're starting with least patient learner to most patient learner. And there's only 4 types. There's the why learner first, then we speak to the what learner, then we speak to the how learner. Okay, so then we can tell people, well, this is what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to solve the problem. Okay, and then the most patient learner you want to speak to last, and that is the what if learner. So Glenn, if I used your advice around inverting the business funnel, inverting the sales process, using your educational model on how to educate your ideal candidates or my ideal candidates to self-select themselves into my highest end programs and services, how quickly can I change my business around? Okay, and that's the what if learner. Or Glenn, what if I were using your certification royalty riches model? Where could I be in 6 months from now or a year from now? Okay, so you want to hit in conversations, hit the learners in that way, okay, in that fashion, starting with the why learner, then the what learner, then the how learner, then the what if learner. Okay, the next type of learning, and I gave those of you that are in our VIP app, and you have the VIP app by just going to budurl.com/ICApp, ICAPP. We provide you inner circle access to our beach time hangouts. You don't have to subscribe to anything in our beach time hangouts, and provided you some very powerful assessment tools. And so the 4th type of conversation then is having some assessment tools. And assessment tool, and I give you all kinds of different ways. And those of you that are coming into our 1-day intensive, you're going to love what I show you because they're so powerful. And I see so many amazing people today doing things, spending so much time and with such little results. And if you just take some time to yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to block out a period of time and I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to restart redoing this. And I really believe that you can recalibrate yourself very, very quickly. And an assessment tool really is that. It's a way of helping your clients recalibrate, or potential candidates recalibrate where they see the problem or how they see their problem right now and how they should see their problem. Okay, so think of an assessment instrument as a recalibration tool. All right, and our 1-day intensives are, for example, a very powerful way of recalibrating the way that business owners execute today. And I really believe that in order for me to impart value, proper value, that's taken me into the tens of thousands of hours now. We're at about 13,500 hours developing these systems, that I need a 1-day. And that's why I do our 1-day business acceleration intensive, so I can provide backdoor access to it, just a ton of things and tools and systems and it gives everybody a chance that comes in to meet some wonderful people, gives us a chance to connect, me with all the successfully vetted candidates. And it gives everybody a chance just to kind of just recalibrate themselves on their business. And I really believe it takes a full day to just concerted focus. And it is an intense day, but I really believe that you can recalibrate your mind very, very quickly. So when you're using an assessment tool, and I've showed you a few of them on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts. There's a ton that I haven't showed because my clients pay a lot of money for the systems and tools and processes that they have access to, that they can use, that I've developed. I believe in modeling. Modeling is the #1 way that we learn. But you want to model excellence today, right? You don't need to model perfection because there's no such thing as perfection. So if you're perfectionistic, your real problem is really just overthinking. That's really what it is. So if you want to stop overthinking, and what you do, create a quick assessment tool. And the assessment tool at the end of the day, a great assessment tool will answer a question that goes something like this. Okay? As you're developing your assessment tool, it should tell your potential candidates something. So it should tell them how to, whatever the result that you want to give them. So it tells you how to get conversion rates of 60 to 80% for $50,000 plus programs. Okay, and I have an assessment tool that I've developed that helps my potential candidates see that they can do this. Okay, so if you remember, the formula tells me, and then what is the ROI, return on investment that you know your candidate wants, and so formulate your assessment tools around a thesis. So your assessment tool should tell your potential candidates something very specifically that they want to accomplish. Okay, so remember our rule. That's why we started here. Think from an idea toward a thesis. It'll help you go from a generalist to a specialist. It'll help you start developing more critical skills in conversations and having just relaxing through this all. Okay, and the fifth assessment, our conversation. There are hundreds that we could talk about, but due to time, the fifth one is the 4. So it's a formula. It's 4, and then you want to start with a big thesis. So it's in a one line. 4, or the big thesis, what is it that you do? Okay. And then the second line is who are frustrated by? Who are frustrated by? What is the number one frustration that your potential candidate has? That should be in the second line. Okay. The third line then, so you've got a contrast then on the first 2 lines. You're setting yourself apart from what your competitors fail to do. That's really important. Remember, we talked about that. Don't just willy-nilly give away your content or your advice. Always structure it from the standpoint of contrast. Okay, so you want it for who, and that's the big thesis. That's line number 1. Line number 2 then is in contrast with. What is it in contrast with? You don't use the name of a company or anything, but you in contrast it to what your competitors fail to do. Line 3 then, so line 3, underneath that, this is just a really quick way of just clarifying your thinking and your market differentiation. Line 3 then identifies the name of your program and what industry you're in, because your potential candidates got to know what industry you're in. You've got to know what industry you're in, so you can speak even more critically to the problems, the big trends that are going on, the big thesis. You remember our consultative process, first 3 steps. Okay, then in the 4th line, so we had our first line 4, and then our who are in your big thesis. Second line is in contrast with. Okay, so you're setting your big idea against what your competitors failed to do. Third line then, below that, is the name of your program, because you always want to anchor the name of your program. It should have a really great name in the industry. And then the 4th line is which does what, okay? And it should focus on the key advantage that your program allows your candidates to do, successfully vetted candidates. And then the fifth area then is another in contrast to, okay? So second line was frustrated by. The 5th line is in contrast with. So the first 2 lines then, so line 1, line 2 are contrasting your service or what it is that you do with what your competitors fail to do. And then lines 4 and lines 5, again, set out another advantage of your program against or in contrast with what your competitors fail to do. Okay, and that's just a really quick way of pitching what you do. But in a way that doesn't sound pitchy. It sounds in a way that your ideal candidates want to have and want to dialogue with you. And in fact, it's a way that everybody wants to dialogue today, okay? And have a conversation around. So if you follow those 5 simple conversations, you're going to make yourself a lot more powerful. Now, I'm going to provide you backdoor access here in just a second. Let me just share with you here, because we started our hangout outside today. Those of you that got here early, I was out the beach, the Canadian Lake home, well, off the beach here today, but it is, the weather is not that good, so we've decided to just start it at the beginning outside and then moved in our office here. So let me, okay, so right here is some of the clients that have benefited from the advice that I'm sharing with you, and we've had thousands of clients. So I want you to see that what I'm covering here is very applicable to all kinds of different industries, whether they're in startup mode or whether they clients already have a business and want to accelerate their business. For example, Kathy Gillen. And Kathy's benefited from the advice that I'm sharing with you. And today she sells coaching programs. You know, she was struggling selling a $500 program when I started working with her, and she sells programs that run $10,000 to $60,000. Okay. Lori Kirk. Lori is just a beautiful woman, like Kathy. And Lori's out of the Boston area, Boston. All right. I'm practicing my accent. I have a lot of clients on the East Coast. And it's always wonderful to hear from them. I always like how they say coffee. I love coffee. And apparently they know how to say coffee properly. And when Lori came to us, she had a CEO roundtable. And but her struggle was closing deals faster that wasn't taking up all of her time. And so we were able to cut her sales cycle in half, dealing with some very difficult people. You know, if you've ever tried to work with CEOs of larger corporations that have a bureaucracy underneath them, trying to close deals is very difficult because everything has to go through the CFO. So Lori was able to take some of these simple conversations and highly strategic conversations. I've interviewed clients like Luke, and Luke at 27 today, he's got a business model that allows him to travel anywhere in the world and run his company anywhere in the world in a very, very cool fashion. And so as we move into step 2 here, I want to help you win and win big. And one of the ways that we've done and helped you with our backdoor access, and this is the ultimate backdoor access, is our VIP app, okay, that provides you inner circle access. And again, you can get that right here, budurl.com/IC app. And I just tell you that because on our Beach Time Hangout, I gave everybody that's VIP inner circle access, free access to some of the assessment tools that clients have paid $5,000 to have access to, or to take a look at what I'm doing at private networking events. Candidates pay $5,000 to attend. So you've got to be able to have high value, and I'm here to help you increase your value, okay, in today's highly competitive, really over-communicated marketplace. All right, so in section 2 here, I'm going to provide you backdoor access, and I want you to write down, there's really 3 types of systems that you want to organize your advice, okay? I gave you 5 kind of highly strategic systems of creating conversations around. And now I want to take you through 3 different ways of organizing your advice, okay? And I see so many people organizing their advice incorrectly, or they organize it and they end up sounding like the way they organize it sounds like some kind of syllabus for a university course, or it sounds like a book, table of contents or something. And automatically, when people see that, it deflects or it takes away from the value that you really bring. So you've got to be a lot more strategic. So there's only 3 ways that you should organize your content. And I'm going to take you through one of our private client sites here so you can have backdoor access to take a look. But I want you to write down, you always want to start with the bigger way of organizing your advice. And all right, so you want to organize your advice based on action guides, action plans, and action templates. Action plans or action guides, action plans, action templates, and all your advice should be organized and structured that way. And by using that positioning, it creates momentum for yourself. It creates momentum for those that are going to consume your advice. And then ultimately, you provide a high level of influence over candidates when you use that kind of terminology, okay? So I really recommend that you do that. And I'm going to take you through a private client site right now, one of ours. And so let me just share this here with you. Let's see, hold on a second here. I had it already here, and let's see here. Here we are. Okay, so I'm going to share this here with you. And this is our Expert Advisor Alliance site, and I've just typed in the login and password. And this is a part of the website here. And we have 4 programs here, and each of these programs are action plans. So we've got Quick Home Business Profits. We've got the Ultimate Offer Formula that I use, and I teach all of my clients to use. And those of you that are coming into our one-day business acceleration intensive have access to these systems help you close deals, because at the end of the day, it's all about transacting your value in today's marketplace. Okay, getting all tongue-tied here. Quick Home Business Profits, the ultimate offer formula, social lead machine, and home business launchpad. Okay, so if we go to Quick Home Business Business Profits, okay, this is the action plan, or sorry, the action guide. And then within this, so if I click on Quick Home Business Profits here, and hopefully I haven't had it open too long. There we go. Okay. And now we've got it divided into modules. Okay. Each of these modules are action plans. Okay. So Quick Home Business Profits, I'm going to click on here, package your offer. So you see so many entrepreneurs have no idea how to package their offer properly. And if you don't know how to package your offer properly, you're not really understanding this concept of beginning. Remember, think from an idea toward a thesis. So if I click on here, we have everything. We've got visual training, okay, so people can watch video. They have our action plans. They have our action templates. They have our consumer guide that I teach clients how to build, and we've been doing this for the last 13 years. And then how to create a free report in a completely different way than probably what you're doing right now from an accelerated teaching or learning perspective, okay? So everything's built around this, okay? So remember, action plans are action guides, action plans, action templates. So if we go back again to our first level here, and let's click on the ultimate offer formula, okay? A lot of people like to see this. And I'm gonna click on module 6, case studies. So our ultimate offer formula is the action plan. And we click on here and we get the action guide, I should say, then we get to the action plan. I'm gonna click on one of the action plans and I'm gonna take you through here. So we built out, this is one of our presentations. We build it out so that people can follow the presentation and then basically create their presentation following the science, the science of influence and accelerated influence. But one of the slides here I just want to showcase to you is here, and I think it's really apropos to what we're talking about today, is this new learning curve. So it's how to get these quantum leaps in your business. And today what's happening is this traditional learning curve. This is what happens with traditional learning, the way that you learn, by reading books, listening to audio programs, all that you're doing. And it's actually being compressed and the pain or the level of learning is decreasing today at unprecedented levels. Why? Because there's just access to so much information. So this is why you've got to have better systems to focus and execute on, so you can get these kind of quantum leaps. And in fact, you can get an accelerated learning curve by using the tools and systems that I've spent 12 years developing in over 120 industries. But I just want to take you through this because this is how we organize advice and help our clients accelerate, okay? So go back here then, and each of these 4 programs then are organized around action guides, action plans, and action templates, all right? So I want you just to take note of that. And those are some of the systems on our Expert Advisor Alliance site. Now, the reason why I show you that is if I want media attention, or I want to develop, using those 5 conversation starters or ways of developing conversations that we started in section 1 here today, I'll use those. And then if I'm talking to somebody that looks like maybe a potential really great B2B strategic alliance partner, I'll give them access to our Expert Advisor Alliance site. I give the access to the media so they can take a look at the level of sophistication of our advice and the way that we organize advice. And the way that you organize your advice is critical in increasing your value. So I want to underscore this again. The way that you organize your advice is critical in increasing your value. And on our third component here, you've got to see this. Okay, you got to understand this, because the way that you organize your advice today, it's really powerful, and it can give you so much more freedom in your business if you have royalties coming in, okay? So if I give somebody media access to that private client site, for example, it stands me apart from anybody else in the market that's sending books and sending all kinds of complicated packages, PR packages. I don't have any complicated PR packages. What I have are highly effective systems that get noticed. And that's what we all want, right? And the goal in today's market is utility. You want to write that down. Utility. Your programs, your advice has to have utility. It's got to get your target market to do something. So instead of giving them something like everybody else's, I give people access. You know, those of you that are attending here on our VIP app, you've got access all the time. And you've got access to all of our previous trainings, and you've got priority placement and everything for one-day intensives, for content that I give away on our Hangouts. So access is everything. And if access is everything and influence is everything, then I want to challenge you to look at how you're influencing potential candidates, other strategic partners, and be different. Okay. And everything I try to do, I try to find ways that stand me apart. And I don't mind giving away this at no cost. Why? Because what I really do, I can't even cover in 45 minutes, an hour on our Google Hangouts each week. It really takes a full immersion, not sprinkling. This is a little bit of sprinkling. It takes full immersion. Like if you want to go swimming, you got to jump in the lake. Okay, here at the Canadian Lake Home. It's one thing to watch it. It's another thing to feel somebody splash, but it's another thing to fully immerse yourself, right, and feel the pleasure and the power of being where the momentum is at, right? And that's what's really important. So let's move into our third area here today. And you're going to want to see this and love this. I'm going to I want to show you a couple of things here. Okay, so I'm going to disappear here because I think this is really important. Now, what is a successful coaching business? Because I'm just going to pick on coaches. Because I talk to so many coaches that don't have a business. At the end of the day, they're trading time for money, and they really have a glorified job. So it's a business that you love to do where you own the business and the business doesn't own you. And that leverages the biggest trend in information marketing for the next 50 years or more. Okay, and so I want to just make sure that we're all clear on what a successful business is. And in this case, what a successful coaching business is, because I tend to talk to a lot of coaches. I don't talk to a lot of different industries, but just seem to be attracting a lot of coaches. Why grow a scalable global coaching company? Well, it provides you financial freedom. It provides you more time if you do it right in a scalable way. You can work from anywhere. You can spend more time with your family. You can live your passion. You can enjoy life. You can collect two types of big checks, which is almost a benefit, right? Because it's really, as much as I want to help people make money, I'm really good at helping people do 7-8 figures in business. But it's more than that. It's really about having, as I shared with you, an ROIT business where you're providing great ROI, but you're doing it in the model of an ROIT business. Okay, so let's finish off here today in just a few minutes. This is one of my clients, Scott Holman. Look at this. We were able to do two things in the way that we structured Scott's advice. He was able to close 12 clients at $70,000 and get a Tony deal done. Okay. And that was really, really big for Scott. And that's the level of conversation that I'm talking about here in today's market. All right. So let's take a look at this royalty model. This is our third way. Since we're talking about conversations and beginning with the end in mind, thinking from an idea toward a thesis, that is, what are you proving? And I've given you 5 different ways of having conversations. I've given you 3 ways of organizing your advice to increase the profitability of your conversations, because you're organizing your advice in a way that your potential candidates want to receive your advice, which is ultimately using templates. And that increases the utility or the usability of your content, which is important. So stop using books and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying don't have a book, but you never hear me, or very seldom, talking about me being a best-selling author or running an entrepreneurial authoring program in our early days of being recognized by Adobe. We do have a publishing arm, but it's an arm that's attracting some unbelievable people all over the world. And I want to help you do the very same thing. So let's move back here and finish off here with this. And I want to just leave you with 2 questions here before we go into this royalty model really quickly. Do you want to you want to fix a moment or solve a destiny? So many people are trying to fix a moment, or really, it's like kind of like putting a new bathroom in a condemned home. Okay, you want to solve a destiny, right? And I hope you understand what we're talking about. And along with that is the key question of how fast do you really want to move? How fast do you really want to move? Because it comes down to speed in today's market. And so many people are doing things that are slow. They're executing slow. They've got poor focus. They don't really know where they should be focusing on. They're stuck in a model. They know it, but they're maybe not really sure. And you probably are stuck at some level, right? You're really not sure what's really wrong. How can I fix this? And that's why I'm talking to you today. You're not because I'm brighter than you. You're probably brighter than almost every one of my clients. I like bringing them to the Canadian Lake Home so my kids can learn from my clients because they're all brighter than I am. What I'm really good at doing is rolling up my sleeves and getting things done and helping you get things done and helping you take an area that I humbly found myself in teaching and accelerated learning. And I've been able to take those tools and systems into the business world. And because we got into a lot of different markets, we created some very cool business acceleration systems that today somehow, some way have worked very favorably for my company and for my clients. And I want you to experience the same kind of rapidity of results in your own business. And I'm really serious about business and about business success. And at the end of the day, you want ROI, right? You want an ROIT business. So our certification royalty riches program, which I delve into a lot more and showcase how we do everything, but it's really built on accelerated business systems and advanced teaching technology to help you create two types of royalties for your advice. So you have a true ROIT business, okay? And when you can start building royalties, dependable royalties in your company, boy, I'll tell you, in today's marketplace, it gives you a lot of peace. Knowing that you've got money coming in every day, each month, you've got a dependable stream of income coming in that's royalty, and you've got lump sum royalties coming in from other experts, coaches, maybe some of your clients that are using your systems, and they're paying you a lump sum royalty that can run into the thousands, can run even into the tens of thousands of dollars. And this is how, everybody, you become wealthy in the IP age. And so if you have a proper business model that allows you not only to receive money passively on the first level, but on the second level and the third level, okay, of clients and clients' clients and clients' clients' clients that are paying you, this is really the most advanced yet accelerated way of teaching your advice today that's going to bring you the greatest leverage in today's marketplace. So the benefits for creating royalties is it's the best model to scale your coaching business into a $10 million plus empire where you're not just trading time for money. You create massive residuals, but you build massive growth through speed to market and educate to dominate, okay? And the reason why you want a successful company and the clients that I attract are, yes, they want to make money, but that's really a byproduct to what they really want to be doing. They want to be able to give back. They want more time with their family. They want to look good to their spouse, or they want to prove somebody wrong that's always said they couldn't do something, or they want to just play big. They're tired of playing small. They know they were born to play big, and yet we've all been conditioned at some level to play small. Educational system has done that. Formalized education has burned and internalization of conversations with the wrong kinds of people in our lives have burned holes in our dreams. And so I want to help you plug those holes, and I want to give you a better business model to play from, because in today's market, it's all about knowing how to clone yourself and to create more time for yourself, right? And when you create more time for yourself, then you can take time off like I am tomorrow, having minor surgery. So I'm going to be in the hospital tomorrow, and being able to travel with your kids. And my kids are home today from school. It's almost the end of school year here in Canada. I'm spending time with them, and yet spending time with you. And one of the reasons why I didn't have everything printed out or written out and showed you today is because I was spending time with my kids. I had lunch with them today, and just enjoying the day before their dad goes under the knife tomorrow. So anyways, those are the three areas I want to cover. And there's been a lot of people that have been reaching out to us when we're going to select the winners for the one-day business acceleration intensive. Wanted to give you a week because I know people travel. I get that today's marketplace is totally different. And one of the reasons why people have the VIP app on their smartphone is so they can have access to our training events when it's accessible for them. And but if you're really serious about business, you want to be around with some really cool people, meet my wife, and Fiona will tell you when you're here that I'm really not that smart, and she'll tell you. My wife always puts me in place, but she will tell everybody that we've been able to go on an amazing journey, meeting just some wonderful people. And isn't it life ultimately about connections, right? Deep connections with fewer and better people. And if you take what I covered today around generating conversations, I gave you 5 kind of starter stems, if you will, in our first section. Our second section, I did backdoor access to the one of our private client sites, just to take a look at the 3 ways of organizing your advice, or chunking your advice, an educational term, come out of the educational field as a teacher, as probably you know. And then the third area is organizing your advice so you command royalties. You got to have them today. And it's easier, I believe, to build an 8-figure business than it is a 7, although you got to go to 7 to get 8. But if you start with a bigger, better model, right, with royalty income, even if you're just starting from scratch, it just makes everything so much easier. You're so much more powerful. And if you use what I covered today and apply it, your conversations, you're going to have more meaningful conversations. They're going to enrich you. Isn't that what we want? We want to be enriched. Your people that you're talking to are going to fall in love with you because you're listening at a totally different level than everybody else. And you're applying the kind of influence that just allows you to become almost magnanimous, right, in your industry. And that's what I want to see and help you. And those of you that want to just play at a totally different level, you're tired of playing stuck, overthinking, you like what you're hearing and you want more of it, you want it at a faster level, you're ready for an intense day, and you're ready to travel from I showed you Luke. Luke came from Australia, from Canberra, Australia. People have flown from all over the world for one day to come in here, and they're in a queue to get in. And I don't take just anybody. I want the right people, because I want my wife to meet the right people as well. I want my kids to learn from amazing people that are all committed, not just interested, but committed to business excellence in today's world. So if you want to find out more, you can go to newgurumodel.com/one-day, newgurumodel.com/one-day. You can reach out to me by emailing me, Glenn with 2 N's, at newgurumodel.com. I don't have anything else here to tell you. Those of you who have the VIP app, if you haven't done it already, you've always got priority placement, because there's a way of scheduling a call or reaching out to me directly on the VIP app on your phone. You can phone our international office at 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043. Because it is difficult to get here, because of so many great people that want to come in, the more ways that you reach out, the greater that you showcase your desire. And also you showcase that you're really willing to take action. Today's market's all about action and utility. So if you follow what I'm talking about today and what I've recommended to you, I want to see you have a lot more utility with your advice. All right. So take what I covered, use it. And really, those of you that are already successfully registered, you've got your ticket for the 1-day business acceleration intensive and your dinner here and some really cool networking time here at the Canadian Lake Home. You're going to absolutely love the awe-inspiring venue. You'll love it. And people come in here, it's just like, wow. And totally different. It's intimate. It's private. It's exclusive. Okay, it's not an event. We don't hold them at hotels or anything like that. And there's, again, some details, newgurumodel.com/one-day. And we are giving out, allowing 3 people to come in at no cost. My company is covering it for you. But if you would like a free ticket, listen to last week's Google Hangout or reach out to us immediately and let us know. Because this week we will be selecting the candidates, the successful candidates. So, okay, I used what I covered. And remember, everything today is about speed to market, speed to market, speed to market. Have a great one, everyone. See ya.